thing is heavy as heck. No major complaints. Life is good. Let me know if like the mic levels are good too. Clean box, I think so too. Aesthetics and everything of the presentation, it's all extremely good. I got blue, obviously. I've never had a blue keyboard. Tri controller is so bad. If you gotta get the games, then you know, unless you play like Valorant or something, then you know obviously you can't play controller. If you play Valorant, that's probably real tough. Those things taste good. Hey, you know what? I'm not willing to try it. You might have to let me know on that one. So originally, it was only gonna cost me like 380 bucks for just the board. And so technically, like right now, I have two Mode 65s. One I did not buy. The other one, they sent me on accident first. So I'm sending it back. I didn't open it too. Even though like the spec that they sent me, that is somebody else's. I configured it like without adding like all the accessories, and just the board by itself, like without the extra stabilizers that they added and like some other stuff, it was well over $600. It's probably like 650 or so, plus you know shipping and whatnot. So it's probably nearly like 700 bucks. And I could have just like not said anything, but I'm too honest of a guy. So, you know, of course I contacted support. I was like, hey, yo, like this ain't my keyboard. But I also expressed, I was like, look, I just waited like 3-4 months for this thing. If y'all can't send me another one, I'm gonna have to keep this mug. Like I'm not about to sit over here and wait. But their customer support is pretty lit. And I was like, yo, this is what I ordered. This is what I got. So I'm gonna need this like ASAP if y'all gonna send me a replacement. Otherwise, keeping this mug. So they 2-day shipped me like this exact spec that I ordered. So I'm like, all right, cool, bet. And since I had, you know, the customer support person on the line, I'm like, hey yo, can I get some extra accessories? Like, what do you guys have in stock? And I was just like, yo, like originally I only got the black palm plate. But I wanted like an FR4 plate and an aluminum plate, which I thought I ordered initially, but maybe I passed on it. So yeah, so we got the FR4, which is this one, which I'm probably not going to use for a while. Don't get me, FR4 is not bad, especially after I tried the GMK Pro. It's pretty nice. Most importantly, we will be using the palm plate. Yo, Palm on Starlight 12? No. Too expensive. Oh, this must be this. Yep, this is aluminum. So this is the aluminum plate. Try not to like, you know, scratch it or anything. I love this blue though. Like I'm so glad I got the blue instead of getting the blue gray. I got a blue gray back piece that I'll unbox and show you guys in a second. This black, you can kind of see the details in it, but like this is clean as heck. Like this is dope. But I reviewed the Starlight 12. I don't own one though. Will I get one eventually? Maybe. Do I feel like spending $200 on it? Maybe impulse buy, but I don't know. See, the thing is, I don't really care if I get one or not because it's so small. It's nice. Like I thought you had to buy this, but they actually give you like this little screwdriver. So I got it upside down, but that's kind of cool. And little bits and whatnot. I'm gonna have to look up the guide on how to put this thing together. Daughter board, screws, feet, these little tabs. Or like, I don't know. The tabs, I know they go on the plate, but I gotta figure out how exactly to use them. This back piece is the brass one. I think, was this like 60 bucks or 80 bucks? I don't know. It was way too expensive, but I seen like the iridescent looking back piece and I was like, ooh, I gotta get something sweet. This brass, this got some weight to it too. This is sick. I would keep it a buck. This is sick. Keyboard and mouse is where that. That's facts. Swell though, you have been slaying that controller. You sent me those clips. Freaking lit. Is it worth the price? I'm gonna have to go with no, but I wanted the aesthetic, so it was worth it enough emotionally for me to spend my money. So I guess it kind of was worth it. The white one that I got, this one was cheap. I think it was like 20 bucks. But I think it still looks good. Because I'm going to use a PBT Lilith for a while on this board. Maybe I'll use DSA Vol Bloom eventually. But I'm going to use PBT Lilith for a while. I think it might match like the, you know, like the all blue and everything. How hard is it to start a tech channel? I would say moderately hard. But like it's probably like a pretty easy method to like get like somewhat consistent growth on YouTube, somewhat. But you just have to have the wallet to support it up until you make money. Because every time something new comes out, that's what's gonna be what gets the most views. So like if you don't have like thousands of dollars to like throw away up until like you start making money, it's hard. Because the thing is, like, you'll make money on YouTube, but like new products will come out and you will burn all the money that you make so much faster than you can make it. This last one that I showed, this is the blue-gray one. This one is kind of sick. I like this. Originally, I was gonna get the whole keyboard as blue-gray. I'm glad that I didn't though, because I like this as an accent piece, but if the whole keyboard was that color, I would be kind of bored. Let's look at this PCB. Hotswap KL sockets, very interestingly cut. Like it's not a boring PCB where it's literally a rectangle. It's kind of cool though. It would have been sick if they would have did like some like yellow or orange KL sockets like Ducky did on that 1.3. That would be cool. I wish more companies would start doing that too. So we have go watch Marvel, yes sir, and Star Wars, yes sir, yes sir. Read the manga and look up the good fights to see them animated. That's a good way to do it too. But yeah, I love Marvel and Star Wars actually. So Mode 65, Hotswap PCB, of course, because I ain't got time to be desoldering switches all the time. Have I seen What If? I haven't yet. I want to. I'll probably start watching that pretty soon. But I will. WandaVision, I got so bored of that. I need to finish watching it though. I watched like half of it and I just didn't feel like following up and watching the rest of it. The first episode, it was straight. I don't know. It wasn't like interesting enough, I guess, for me to like keep watching. Yo, you know what? If I would have got my original combo, which would have been like this exact board with the blue-gray top, I would have been perfectly fine with this because the blue and the blue-gray is different enough to offer like a little bit of contrast. So this, I think this look kind of sexy together. What's the next costume stream? What y'all think about this blue and brass combo though? 'Cause I'm digging it. I'm digging it. Dude, this thing is sexy. Yeah, this brass was a ton of money well spent. Oh my god. But yeah, like organized all my stuff since I'm a streamer now. I'm a real streamer now. I got all my lubes organized and stuff. This blue to this blue, that's like a 95% match. Like that's very close. Like in person, it looks extremely close. So I'm actually impressed because like I only thought about putting this keycap set on like at the last minute. I was like, you know what, that would probably look fire. Okay, we got Mode 65, PBT Lilith, Palm, Cow, switches, Durag V2 stabs, all that good stuff. Few artisans from Thok. Let's get it. So this is without the brass bottom. I would opt for a brass top before I opt for a brass bottom, but I think a brass accent piece is the way to go. Just I feel like brass looks good in small quantities. I see why people spend, thousands of dollars, not thousands, but I could see how one could spend $1,000 on a keyboard. Do I think I will spend $1,000 on the board alone, like not including switches and artisans? Like I feel like if I got like a bunch of artisans, I could see how that's a way that I could get a board up to $1,000. But me just dropping a band of just a board without the stabilizers and the switches for a G, not happening. Espada, thank you for the follow. We appreciate you coming through to the stream. Man, this thing sounds pretty good. This stack mount is kind of nice though. Like, it's such a slight amount of flex. Not quite a gasket, but like you notice it. Like, if you press hard, yeah. Like even like looking at it, tapping lightly, you feel it too. I didn't really expect that. Like I thought the stack mount was gonna be like kind of stiff because I'm like, obviously you literally stacked a ton of stuff on like underneath the PCB. Like I didn't think it was gonna move really at all, but I think what it is I think the silicone piece. I think the silicone piece is like it's more flexible than I thought it was. Like it's a little bit softer. Let's try some other switches though. So like, let me find my creams. I'm gonna see if I can find like a lube cream and a stock cream. That might be impossible to find a stock one. I will tell you this right now though. These Infinity Key cow switches for all palms, even stock, creams ain't touching them. Creams from that point on, everybody was like palm on palm is bad. It needs to be palm and unwipe or something like that, right? Nah. Infinity Key, they got different palm. They palm built different. This is so smooth, it's not even funny. There's no need to break, break the switches in or anything. Like, nah, these are smooth as heck. So and other than like a little bit of spring ping, I could definitely use this stock. Like if I did anything to these or wish that like the manufacturer did anything, is throw some lube on literally just the spring, maybe the leaf, and it sounds good. Stock creams, that's a no-go. These boys tactile. This is the first time I'm using these two. I've had them for probably 4 months now, since I got them back from being lubed. Like, oh, maybe not 4 months, but 3 months. Maybe 4 months. I don't know. Man, these cow switches are dicking on everything. Everything. These things are fire. Okay, I'm a believer. I definitely think if I lube these epsilons and film them, they'll be probably equally as deep, maybe slightly higher pitch, but very close to being as deep as these cow switches. Yeah, like this switch still has some scratch. Definitely still has some scratch. Definitely way more clack than I was expecting though. Kind of nice. I could see myself using these in the board. I would never solder it on the board though. Like people that solder MX Browns on something, they have to be on drugs. Like, they got to be on the strongest of drugs. Like you never catch me doing that garbage. Funniest part of why you love the cherry switch, you like the scratch. See, I'm so used to the scratch after using the good old Razor keyboards for years and stuff like that. Like I'm so far past scratch. The closest thing I want to scratch is a tactile bump. Okay, we've got a contender. The cow switches, deep. Bobas, deep. But like the cow switches, I did film these, so maybe that's why the boba is not as deep. But I would say there's like a 15% difference in the sound. If 10% of that is the film, the other 5% is the switches deeper. So the cow switches are deeper than the bobas, but the bobas are nice. Personally, though, I can't lube springs with 205. Though I refuse. That's too much work. I throw them boys in a bag, hit them with some spray lube or 105 or something. Loki and WandaVision are a little dry. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, they're kind of dry, and I know WandaVision doesn't get good till like I heard like the last 2 episodes. Falcon and Winter Soldier. There was a lot of action, but there was a lot of stuff about that show I just didn't like. Like I didn't like at the end of it. I didn't like how Falcon was like, "I am the Black Captain American. You guys don't like me." I'm like, bro, like come on. Mando season 2 was mint. That joint was fire. Star Wars, like the sequels, 7 through 9, trash. Okay, all 3 of them. The first one, I gave it a pass because I was like, you're starting a new trilogy. You want to get, some of the people that, was watching it back in the day. You want to get them into it, give them a little refresher. And then 8 was a pointless movie. Like all the questions that you had at the end of 7, like after you like met the characters, all the questions that you had at the end of 7, none of them got answered in 8 at all. And then Luke just dies for no reason. Like you're... That was me like in the theater when I watched 8. And then like 9 was a bad movie because they literally spent the entire movie fixing 8. And don't get me wrong, like I understand it, but at that point they should have just split it into 2 movies. Like have one movie that splits or have one movie that fixes the last movie and have one movie that is truly its own film. Rogue One and Solo were better than 7 through 9. That's facts. And I'm gonna be honest, like I was pissed when they announced Solo. I was like, first of all, who asked for the adventures of Han Solo? Because nobody cares. But after I seen the movie, I was like, the movie wasn't trash. It was actually good. So, I respected it like after it came out. Like it wasn't like the best movie I ever seen, but it was enjoyable though. But I still stand by the fact that why didn't we get an Obi-Wan movie before we got a Han Solo movie? Like, and I know like they're working on the Obi-Wan show. I understand that. Should you watch Clone Wars? I haven't watched all the Clone Wars, but you at least gotta watch season 7 or 6 or whatever the last Clone Wars is, because that one is right before episode 3, and that joint was hot. And especially like the last like 3 episodes, ooh, it was lit. Solo gets worse the more you think about it afterward. Yeah, like Solo, it wasn't like it wasn't the best movie, but it was enjoyable though for what it was. Star Wars, in my opinion, over the past like 5 years has been trash. Actually, not the past 5 years, but just the sequels, because the other stuff like Solo was okay. I'll let it slide. Rogue One was halfway decent. And Mando was straight fire both seasons.